BookSnark. Alice's Adventures in Wonderland by Lewis Carroll. Snarky recap. The OG fever dream of children's lit. Alice's Adventures in Wonderland, Lewis Carroll's gloriously weird literary acid trip disguised as a children's book, a timeless tale that asks the burning question, what if a Victorian girl fell into a hole and immediately started tripping harder than a Coachella DJ? Act 1. Curiouser and Curiouser, aka The Descent into Madness. So Alice, a well-mannered English girl who's clearly bored out of her corset, is sitting on a riverbank when she sees a white rabbit wearing a waistcoat and muttering about being late. Naturally, instead of questioning reality, she follows him down a hole like it's totally normal behavior. And just like that, boop! She's in Wonderland, where logic goes to die. Alice immediately finds a bottle labeled Drink Me, and instead of recalling every cautionary tale ever, she gulps it down. She starts shrinking, growing, crying enough tears to drown in, and basically becomes a malfunctioning Sims character. Act 2. Wonderland welcomes you with mild psychological terror. Once she's resized enough to get through a tiny door, because doors here have power complexes, she enters a world full of deeply unstable personalities. First up, the caterpillar, who sits on a mushroom smoking a hookah and speaking in riddles, basically your college philosophy TA. He tells her to eat the mushroom to change size, and Alice somehow manages not to scream. Then we meet the Cheshire Cat, who floats, grins like he knows your secrets, and vanishes at will. He's basically the customer service rep of Wonderland, cryptic, unhelpful, and always slightly smug. The Mad Hatter and March Hare invite Alice to the most chaotic tea party of all time, where time is frozen, no one makes sense, and everyone's definitely off their meds. It's less tea and more anxiety with a saucer. Act 3. Royalty, beheadings, and British passive aggression. Eventually, Alice ends up at the court of the Queen of Hearts, a playing card with anger issues and a penchant for yelling, "Off with their heads!" at the slightest inconvenience. She's married to the King of Hearts, who is basically just there. The Queen forces Alice into a bizarre game of croquet, using flamingos as mallets and hedgehogs as balls. PETA would have a meltdown. Meanwhile, Alice is done with the nonsense. She's no longer impressed by riddles, nonsense trials, or being threatened with decapitation over dessert etiquette. She finally snaps and calls everyone out, and that's when the dream unravels. Ending. Wake me up before you go-go. Just as Alice is about to be executed, again, for reasons, she wakes up on the riverbank, proving this whole saga was just one long anxiety dream brought on by sunlight and Victorian boredom. Either that or Carroll forgot to proofread his mushroom-laced manuscript. Who's to say? Final thoughts. Alice's Adventures in Wonderland is both a beloved children's classic and a low-key existential crisis. It's a surreal, hilarious, and slightly terrifying meditation on growing up. If growing up involved sentient cats, death threats from playing cards, and possibly mushrooms with enhancements. It's not about making sense. It's about surviving the chaos with your head intact, both figuratively and literally. Like and subscribe to BookSnark on YouTube for more hilariously unhinged literary recaps.